Hey guys, welcome to our Indonesia Gunpla Builders World Cup 2018 coverage. And first up, we would like to say a big thank you to Chang Wan Hin. Chang Wan Hin is the one who supplied all the pictures from the event. So thank you, mate. Without this, we wouldn't be able to cover the event without you. So now let's get to the entries. I mean, there's a lot of interesting entry this year, but there are few which is our topics, and the first one is this guy. This is really one amazing take on the Sinanju. This is the Nakstein or Nextin. This is from Antonius Liauw from Indonesia. His entry is really interesting because it gives the Sinanju a whole new look. When you look at the armor, the multi-layered look, so many details going on, and all the fine details are just the golden circle on the chest plate. You really need to pay some attention onto all the things that's going on around for this case. So this is one of our top 2 contender to win Indonesia's GBWC 2018, right? Now next up, so who are the other top contenders or top picks? Well, it has to be this guy. This is from James Jgarage. I don't know his full name, but when we saw his entry, it just blew our mind. First up, when you look at the entry, you immediately think about, hey, isn't that the GP01B? Yes, it is. It's been reworked. It looks a lot more interesting, I would say. This is the Stardust Memory Universe, where James Jgarage have pretty much sculptured a GP01B next to a big, the head unit itself. So when you look at this entry, the first thing that we thought about was it looks quite similar to the concept of the Hong Kong GBWC 2018 champ as well, and which that is not a bad thing, right? I mean, both entries are unique in its own right, same concept, but both highly detailed, a lot of things going on, and this is one of our top favorite to win GBWC 2018 in Indonesia as well. Now, while you admire this amazing entry, let's talk about the overall entries for GBWC 2018 Indonesia. We did notice that most of the entries are quite clean. Good thing is there aren't a lot of iron-blooded, often Babator's entry this time around, and surprisingly there is 0 open hatch entry this time around. So perhaps most of the time open hatch don't win GBWC, so maybe that's why you're not seeing a lot of entries in that category. Now, this is the other guy that really caught our eye. This is a very interesting take on the Turn A. As it is Turn A itself in its own design, there's a lot of fluid design, fluid lines going to the Turn A, but somehow the entry for Indonesia GBWC 2018 has made it even a lot more highly detailed, a lot more interesting color combination, and so, but still at the same time it retains the clean, seamless lines that we've come to know and love for Turn A. So this is also one of our top contenders for top 3 for GBWC 2018. The other entry that caught our eye was this very cool looking Sazabi. Really like the open jaw concept on the Sazabi's face unit. So unfortunately that's the only picture that we have. Anyone has it extra, please send it over. And next up is this core fighter blasting out from the RX-78-2's body. Really cool as well. Hopefully you can place somewhere in this competition. Now this is of course the Rig Dom. Really like to see a lot more ground units, entries into GBWC everywhere around the world, because frankly speaking, it's really fun to see different variations instead of just seeing the same old Gundam units here and there. So hopefully this guy will get a placing as well, because we really like this entry. And the other one is another Sinanju. This Sinanju itself seems like it's wearing a an armor or a mobile suit armor. I don't know what it's called, but it looks very beefy, very detailed, very clean. Hopefully this guy will get at least one of the top 3 placings for GBWC 2018. Now let's go to some of the honorable mentions that we have seen from the entries for Indonesia. One is this guy, somewhat monstrous, devilish, Iron Blooded often inspired. Looks pretty interesting. And of course there's this one, Zeta. Not really sure whether this open copy, but it's like almost half built mobile armor unit. I'm not sure. And again, one of my favorite, Zaku, as always, with a very heavy backpack and boosters at the back of it as well. Really cool. Interestingly as well, this time around in GBWC Indonesia, we're seeing some kits that's being colored with the manga or anime style coloring, so that looks really, really interesting. And this time around, you know, GBWC Indonesia actually has 2 entries, one being the unicorn and one is this guy. This is the granddaddy, obviously. I recall we only saw one in Philippines and there wasn't even any in GBWC in Malaysia. So those are some of the entries that really, really caught our eye. While there aren't a lot of entries in GBWC 2018 in Indonesia, I think the bigger entries which are high contenders, and I think they'll definitely be a, you know, tough fight for the Gunpla Builders World Cup in Japan by the year end. I think this time around, hey, Indonesia might actually win with the top 2 entries that I mentioned before in the earlier part of the video, the Reimagined Sinanju and of course the GP01 entry as well. Those 2 looks amazing. So I will have to say this year GBWC is really, really interesting because for Indonesia, while there aren't a lot of entries, the big boys are finally back. I think compared to last year, I think there was a big difference in terms of the quality of the entry. It's not about quantity, but it really is all about the quality. So hopefully this time around, maybe Indonesia might be the world champ. You never know, right? So for those of you who are keen to see the rest of the entries, because there aren't as many entries compared to Malaysia, check out the entire video. All the entries are captured here. One thing I did notice as well for GBWC Indonesia is I noticed that some of the display case are not properly lighted up. I'm not sure whether this is an issue with the pictures that's been taken up and submitted to us, or is it just generally that, you know, most of the display case have poor lighting. So we actually had to manually edit each and every single picture to increase the brightness so you can see all the entries you know, better. So that's our video today, folks. Let us know what you think of the entries for GBWC 2018. Oh yeah, and this guy, this is I Am Better Babatos and so Destiny crossover, so pretty interesting. Yeah, so please let us know your comments below what you think about the entries for GBWC 2018, and we should know by this weekend who the champs are. And I think in fact by now, you know, Kasumi Kawaguchi-san is already on his way to Indonesia to judge every single entry for GBWC Indonesia 2018. So all the best to all the builders in Indonesia. We hope you guys get a good placing this time around for the World Championship in Indonesia. Please leave a comment down below and please share this video if you liked it. Thank you very much for watching.